Welcome to the webinar titled, What Does Legislation Say About Literacy Assessment for K-3? Throughout state aid and law, there are several pieces of legislation that mention assessment in some way. Some legislation is specific to administering assessment for accountability, and some for instructional purposes. Some legislation addresses reimbursement for assessment, while some addresses professional learning. However assessment is mentioned, as educators, administrators, and overall decision makers, it is important to understand how all of the legislation coordinates to support literacy in the state. By the end of the webinar, it is the hope that participants will understand what the legislation says about literacy assessments. As mentioned, there are many places in legislation that reference early literacy assessments. Each piece of legislation is connected. It is important to understand what each section says about the legislation to determine how LEAs can coordinate to better support students. MCL 380-1280F, also known as the Read by Grade 3 Law, outlines the expectations for K-3 assessment systems to improve literacy outcomes. Essentially, LEAs need to compose an assessment system with screening, formative, diagnostic, and progress monitoring capabilities to help identify and monitor reading deficiencies in grades K through 3, which includes young fives as well as fourth grade students who may be retained. In order to effectively implement this section of the law, MDE followed a process to develop assessment lists accompanied with guidance to support districts in creating an assessment system that reflects the needs of students. For more information, please view the webinar, What is an Early Literacy Assessment System? Section 31A requires LEAs receiving 31A funds to comply with MCL 380-1280F and also implement MTSS, or multi-tiered system of supports. MTSS includes implementing a comprehensive assessment system, which would also include the assessment system components outlined in MCL 380-1280F, as well as the ELA summative assessment. Section 35A supports MCL 380-1280F by offering funding for professional development to eligible districts for the use of screening, diagnostic, and progress monitoring tools, as well as the administration of those tools. 35A also requires the implementation of MTSS, which includes utilizing a comprehensive assessment system. Section 104 is specific to the Michigan Kindergarten Entry Assessment and designates $1.5 million to Washtenaw ISD to support the implementation of the MKEO. The MKEO is included on the MDE approved assessment list as an option for kindergartners. In August 2018, the MKEO shall be conducted in all kindergarten classrooms in districts located in prosperity regions 4, 5, and 9. Beginning in August 2019, MKEO will be implemented in prosperity regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Section 104C is specific to the implementation of the ELA M-STEP and corresponding benchmarks for grades K through 2. Lastly, 104D provides reimbursement to districts for computer adaptive assessments for grades K through 3, or benchmark assessments for K through 8. So what does all of this mean? The graphic is meant to help show the relationship. MCL 380-1280F, Section 104, and Section 104C lays the foundation for what assessments are required. Every LEA in the state is required to create an assessment system that allows students to, at the minimum, participate in an initial and extensive assessment to determine reading deficiencies and monitor toward progress. Section 104 requires kindergarten students in the select prosperity regions to participate in the MKEO. To minimize the testing impact on kindergartners, the MKEO is included on the MDE approved assessment list for the Read by Grade 3 law. Section 104C outlines the requirements of third grade participation in the ELA step and K-2 participation in the MDE benchmarks. The MDE benchmarks are also included on the MDE approved assessment list. Sections 31A and 35A both require implementation of MTSS to receive funding outlined in each section, and 35A offers specific funding for professional learning around assessment. Section 104D allows assessment reimbursement for assessments on the MDE approved assessment lists. In closing, LEAs should carefully review the assessment legislation and work with teams to effectively plan for a system that meets the needs of students. If you have any questions, please email the MDE Early Literacy inbox at the email address listed below. Thank you for joining today.